Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Beta Breakdown. And in this episode, we are looking at what is probably the biggest change to ever happen to Empires and Puzzles. And if you're thinking what I'm thinking, yes, I've said that a lot, but it's because it keeps happening. Like, we've had the double limit breaks. First, it was single limit breaks, then double, all this kind of crazy stuff. This is huge. And they're not even putting this through beta. They are just making it a global beta. So it's going to be a shit show for a long time, as these are massive changes to how heroes work. Like, core things. You'll see what I mean. Just trust me for the moment. This is really a big deal. There's also changes to just about every single hero in the game, including big stuff, just as a small teaser, like removing Gazelle's heal over time and removing Costume Gazelle's heal, period. That is a proposed change. And they're just going to throw all this in the game at once, what they are describing as the biggest change ever, the biggest balance update ever. There's a note from one of the, from staff in here that I'm going to read for you. But yeah, even they're describing it as that. So I still haven't fully made up my mind on this. It'll happen as I'm reading through it with you guys right now. But I don't know what's going on. It'll make a little bit more sense when I read the staff note as to why this is happening. But that doesn't change the fact that this is going to hugely change the way the game plays, the way the game feels, the way heroes that you've ascended function, all kinds of stuff, and we are just going to have to put up with it. And the main reason this is happening is because they have pushed power creep so far that they're close to hitting the absolute boundary of what is even feasible, beyond what is reasonable, but what is even possible. They've realized, oh shit, we're about to hit this boundary of, what a hit-all hero can do in terms of damage. And there's nowhere for them to go with that, essentially. So they're having to completely upend the game to try to make things work still, and it's just crazy. So we are suffering for their greediness, essentially. Just want to put it out there. Gemstone Legends probably has the things you're looking for. It's a great game. It's got a mercy system that gives you a chance at not just getting a legendary from a pool of heroes that they've selected as being weaker than the rest, but any legendary hero. You can put a hero on a wish list to get a, I think, 25% increased chance of pulling that hero. All kinds of good stuff. It's it's where I go to get away from all this frustrating stuff that's happening in Empires and Puzzles. So over 30,000 people have already come over. Come check it out. This is your sign. I don't know how much more people are willing to put up with from Empires and Puzzles, but maybe by the end of this video, your mind will be changed. We'll see. Anyways, links in the description. The nice people at Gemstone Legends are going to give you a free $50 starter bonus just for downloading and coming to play. So links in the description. Make sure you use one of those links, depending on the phone type you have, so that you don't miss out on the $50 starter bonus, because it's a great way to get going in the game. So see what it's all about. See why so many people have left Empires and Puzzles to come play. Over 30,000 people. And let's get to this biggest balance update ever. Okay, so first we're going to go through the overall big picture balance changes. That's going to be a lot to talk about, especially with the staff note. I'm going to do a second video looking at all of the proposed hero changes for all of the heroes with changes proposed to them. So make sure you look out for essentially what is part 2 to this video. It's just going to be too much to do all in one video. I think people are going to be oversaturated. So we'll talk about the big picture stuff here, which I recommend starting with, and then follow up with the video talking about the actual proposed changes to heroes, and these are big. So let's get started. This doesn't seem to be in any particular order from what I can tell, but let's dive into it. Max health reduction update. When a hero reduces an enemy's max health, it now also removes all boosted health from that enemy. That in and of itself is a huge change, and there are so many more like this. But think about this for a second. Say you've doubled your health, and someone like Horus at very fast speed comes in and reduces your health. he's going to take away 1,500 plus health in that first turn if it's doubled. That's such a big change in terms of who you want to prioritize, what heroes are worth maxing. Horus is one that I had glossed over because I found him not that impactful at his current power, but changing this is going to have a huge impact. This makes Alfreg far more dangerous. Any hero that reduces max health is now able to reduce the entirety of that and then to continue further down. You can still reverse it, but yeah, that's a huge deal. Like, it's going to take so long for all these changes to settle out into a new meta, and it's just, what a disaster. Tome of Experience update. This is just a nerf. Tomes of Experiences no longer remove Ascension material requirements when leveling up limit broken heroes. So people had realized that from level 89 to 90 cost an Ascension item, but they were like, oh, if you use a Tome of Experience for that last level, which you can do, you don't have to pay the Ascension item cost. So everyone who has ascended their heroes, their 5-star heroes with the Alpha Ethers already, won't have to worry about this, but everything from here on out is going to cost what it's supposed to, I guess. But using a Tome of Experience will instead give you a certain amount of trainer heroes, food, iron, and experience costs will still be fully covered. So basically just taking the Ascension items again. All right, so here's a list of power increases for legendary heroes. Keep in mind how a lot of the bigger power increases are for newer heroes and the smaller power increases are for older heroes. So they are actively contributing to the inflation of newer heroes being far stronger than older heroes, who the older heroes are the ones that need the boost the most. And at the same time as doing that, they're talking about how older heroes are still perfectly relevant. So that'll be in the staff note that we'll get to. Plus 60 power to Super Elemental Family. The power somehow breaks down to stat increases, so that's the way that I would think about it. It's not just an arbitrary number, but it correlates with the overall stats. I don't know the formula for how to determine power, but this just gives you orders of magnitude, basically, of stat increases. Plus 60 power for Super Elemental. Plus 50 power for Plains, Jungle, and Abyss. Those are all the Monster Island heroes, I believe. Plus 40 power for Bard family. Plus 35 power for Musketeer and Masked God. Masked God family hasn't come out yet, but that's the family that Jove is a part of. So, like, think about if Jove, one of the most OP heroes in the game, needs a stat increase. Whereas down here at the bottom, Legends 22 family, plus 5 power. Kalevala, which is now older Atlantis, plus 10 power, but Jove gets a huge buff. Okay, this is why I'm talking about Gemstone Legends. Plus 30 power, Journey family, I don't even know what that is. Styx family, plus 25, Springvale, but only the heroes from 2023, not all the Springvale family, just the newest ones. Sun and Moon families, which are season 5, I believe. Guardian family, but only the new ones. Avalon, but only the new ones. Pirate, but only Anne. And costumes, I guess. Ninja family, but only the new ones. Plus 20 power, Cupid family, Lunar Year family, plus 15, Underwild family. But only the new ones. Gargoyles, Winter family, Morlovia. And again, just all the new ones. It's absolutely insane. Plus 10 power, Kingdom family, Kalevala, Legends 2023, Atlantis, plus 5, Legends 2022. Costume bonuses. So I created a thread on the forum asking why the hell do Season 2 heroes have incomplete costumes when Season 3 heroes have full costume bonus. Season 2 had the small version. And then, yeah. So now, just the other day, Season 4 costumes came out, and those are already getting a buff. And Season 2 still has incomplete bonuses, and same with a bunch of the older Heroes of the Month. But Season 4, which doesn't even need costumes, is getting a buff to the costumes that just came out. So, the old was 5% attack, 5% defense, 10% health, 5% mana, which is what we just want for Season 2. Now it's 8% attack, 8% defense, 13% health and 5% mana. So pretty much on par with the Season 1. The oldest season, so many years apart from Season 4. And now Season 4 with brand new costumes is getting a bonus that's almost the same as the Season 1 heroes, which the whole point of the costumes was to bring irrelevant heroes back in. And now we're taking still relevant heroes and making them much stronger. Just insane. I want to know your thoughts on this, so please include them in the comments below. Feel free to leave as many comments as you want throughout the video. All Valhalla Realms plus Guardian, Pirate, Grim Forest, Wonderland, and Avalon families are all getting a boost to their costume bonuses. Weird that they were like, we're going to go 1% less on these older ones. Okay. And look at this. Legends 2017 and 2018. We're talking about 5 and 6 years ago. 3% attack, 3% defense, 6% health. Oh, that was the old one. Okay, so they're finally bringing these 5 and 6-year-old heroes up to the normal costume bonus, but only because they're increasing the others. So they're still leaving them behind, even though they're far older and power creep was moving a lot slower at that point. I guess you could say it was power creep and now it's a power jog. Ether power, everyone saw this coming, I think, or at least suspected it. Taunt, duration of taunt received at the beginning of the battle, and each enemy wave is reduced from 4 to 3. So this was too strong. Just getting free 4-turn taunt. There was a point in the game where no hero even had 3 or 4-turn taunt at all. And now you could have 4 turns of taunt just by starting the battle. No matches needed, no turns to go by. So that makes sense, in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree. Okay, so list of individual hero changes, as I mentioned, will be in a separate video because I don't want to oversaturate people in this video. But here's the note. So this Petri is staff from Small Giant before they were acquired by Zynga. He's continued to be the spokesperson, or perhaps he doesn't even work there anymore and they're just using his account as a different person. Who knows? That's absolutely possible. But I want to read this through with you guys. The big balance update. They have chosen this name for it. So they know that this is a huge change. And like, if you were bothered by nerfs in the past where you invest your items in a hero, the time, the food, the feeders, the ethers, the emblems, the ascension items, all that kind of stuff, only to have things changed. This is that on a monumental scale because so many heroes are changing all at once. So again, make sure to check out part 2 of this video where I'm going through all the hero changes. I don't know what they are yet. I just saw someone had mentioned Gazelle, and she's completely losing her heal on the costume and losing the heal over time on the non-costume version. So here we go. We're planning to conduct the largest balance update in the history of Empires and Puzzles. More than 200 heroes will be affected, and you'll get to help us test it. Isn't this already exciting? The way they're trying to spin that as just using us as guinea pigs for their own, their own greed has gotten us to this point, and now we're supposed to be excited that they're going to completely change the way the game functions, and we have to report all the bugs and all the things that are bad about it. That frustrates me. I don't know if you feel the same, but I find that extremely frustrating that they're trying to pass it off as a good thing, potentially. This is such a big update that we will need more than one beta round to finish the details. So a bit of history. This is what I was talking about before, about them accelerating hero strength way too quickly. For a long while, in designing and balancing new heroes, we've mainly placed our attention on crafting interesting special skills and fine-tuning their numbers. Raw stats weren't too actively utilized for balance purposes. Yes, newer heroes were awarded slightly better stats, that is such an understatement that, again, frustrating. It's like, don't fucking bullshit us here, just be direct. Slightly better stats, but we kept that incline extremely mild. That is, I can't believe they have the balls to say that they've been extremely mild with stat increases. This special skill first approach had benefits. Thanks to it, we're able to craft and release hundreds of interesting, powerful new heroes over the years without ever excessively devaluing the existing cast. Bullshit. They were excessively devalued. Exactly that. They were excessively devalued. If you look at the snipe damage from the original Marjana versus any new hero, I mean, even Tetashiri, who's also fast speed, hits way harder and hits the targets on either side and puts defense down, and if the target gets killed, everyone gains 20% mana. So yeah, they were excessively devalued, and these were not extremely mild. Many classic heroes, despite being 6 years old, still are competitive options at nearly all levels of play. We believe this alone speaks volume. Bullshit. If you have the double costumes, then yeah, maybe they are, but you just have to pull a new hero. It's not the old hero anymore. If you have to pull a new costume, it's not the original hero. They just have kept the art mostly the same and made you pull a completely different hero that looks similar. In recent months, however, new heroes have started to close in on the game's upper ceiling for sensible special skill number values. We're not at the breaking point yet, but we're edging ever closer to it. I think we have passed what is reasonable, but it's an arbitrary point where they set that anyway, so they can technically say this if they want to, but the rest of us sensible people realize that this is just insane. In Empires and Puzzles battles, frustration is mostly felt when you get either a useless starting board, nice for them to acknowledge that, because yeah, that is one of the worst things about the game, or an unintended and unfavorable cascade. Of course, there is no way to outright prevent such instances, of course there is, of bad luck, since boards are always randomly generated. Well, then tweak it a little bit so that it doesn't have the horrible extremes. They certainly could do that, they're just not going to do that. And luck always goes both ways. In the long run, it all balances out anyway. Oh, how nice. As I've always said that I would much rather get rid of the easy win boards as well as the easy loss boards. Like, just coming in and winning without doing anything is not really that satisfying. It's better than losing, but still, I think people would want to battle a little bit more than just blow them away and that's the end of it. Same thing, you don't want to lose that way, but there's room for improvement there that they're unwilling to do. However, there's a big difference between an unlucky start leaving you in an unfavorable position and an unlucky start leaving you with no room at all to mount a comeback. I do agree with that. Unfortunately, the latter scenario has been becoming more and more frequent as of late due to the power of special skills and number of synergistic hero combinations having slowly but steadily increased over the years. Not slowly, having accelerated extremely quickly in the last year, basically, last year and a half maybe. So yeah, I do ultimately agree with this, but the reason I'm not sympathetic to them doing this big balance update to try to fix this, and putting air quotes on that, is because this is just a result of their own greed. The balance of this game went wildly out of control based on their own greed, and now it's supposed to be a favor to us that they're willing to fix it. It's like they have to fix it or the game is going to blow up and they won't be able to milk it for all it's worth anymore. So unfortunately, yeah, my pessimistic attitude is not just me being a pessimistic person, but is a result of the way that they have disrespected us as players and disrespected the balance of their own game in the interest of just sucking as much money out of it as possible. Okay, as such, we felt it would be best for the health of the game, both in the short and long term, to revise our approach to hero design and balance at this point in time. Maybe you waited a bit too long to do this. It was easy to see this coming. The big balance update, in which we have taken a comprehensive look at our more recent heroes and made certain sweeping adjustments, is the first step we're taking in line with our new philosophy. To be determined, I guess, whether this is good or not. We'll just have to see, but unfortunately we're going to have to deal with a bunch of bullshit and upheaval in the time in between. The gist of our new direction is that heroes' power will now be allocated a bit more to raw stats and a bit less to special skills. In addition, specific hard cap values and rules have been set for many different types of special skills. However, they don't tell us what those are. That would be the right thing to do, but they won't. But it does go to show that they know there is a hierarchy to heroes. They know that certain heroes are far better than others because they set an upper limit So that means we won't go past that, but there's a spectrum beneath that upper limit, and that spectrum dictates how good a hero actually is. So they know that they're not releasing equitable heroes all the time. They know that they're releasing OP chase heroes, or like with the new portal that just came out for season 4, the best costume in there, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinions, is the Professor Leidenbrock costume. However, that's the only one that is not featured. Interesting, right? Okay, as a result, special skills do a bit less damage, whereas normal attacks, troop damage, do a bit more damage. We believe that placing a reasonable upper limit on the power of special skills in this manner will make the game feel more fun and fair, as less battles will be straight up decided by the very first volley of special skills. This has potential to bring balance, but again, I just am frustrated and not sympathetic because it was easy to see this coming, and now we are paying the tab for things having gone way too crazy and now having to adjust to a very different game. We would like to strongly emphasize that these tweaks are not a targeted attempt to kneecap any individual hero or elevate specific kinds of heroes. Bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. Just looking at the power adjustments above, it's very clear that they're making the most recent heroes better. I mean, the Masked God family that I was talking about, that Jove is from, is not even out yet, and it's already getting a buff. Ridiculous. To the contrary, our internal testing tools indicate that in the grand scheme of things, the vast majority of the heroes affected will simply remain about as powerful as they are now. There is potential for that to be true, but again, the pessimistic attitude that they have generated within me based on their previous actions, I don't buy it. We'll see, though. There may be some shifts in the meta. Maybe some shifts. There's going to be massive shifts in the meta, of course, as players will have more heroes to choose from. Most of the 200 plus heroes affected by this update will become stronger options. Bullshit. The nerf to Gazelle is tremendous. But overall, no hero should see a drastic change to how competitive they are. Bullshit. What we're aiming to change through this update is not individual hero strength relative to each other, but rather how battles, particularly at the top level of play, feel in general. Theoretically, I'm in favor of that, but we'll see if they actually achieve that. Typically, the things that they try to achieve do not work out in the way, like a mercy system. They brought a mercy system in, and they're like, here's a bunch of old irrelevant heroes that you can choose from. Enjoy. Whereas Gemstone Legends is like, okay, mercy system, you're just going to get any legendary hero from the entire pool in the game. So that's far better in my opinion, far more fair to the player. In sum, we believe that the big balance update will not only give us a lot more room for creativity when designing future heroes. Oh, I hear sinister laughter when I read that sentence. But also provide players more room for strategic skill expression. That's a stupid thing to say. Making PvP battles a lot more fun and interactive. Again, I'm in favor of it in theory, but I don't buy that they can actually deliver on this in the way they're writing, or that it's going to take them a long time and it's just going to be so irritating in the meantime as they keep changing things. As always, you can read the full list of adjustments in the build notes. Please take at least some of the adjusted heroes for a spin and let us know how you feel about the changes in this feedback thread. Suggestions will be appreciated. Bullshit. Suggestions will be largely ignored. I mean, the amount of people that were against the second round of limit breaks was tremendous. Over 90% of people, if not over 93% or something like that. And they still did it anyways. Ether reset tokens. In this section, we have some great news and a tiny bit of mixed news, okay? We'll give you the tiny bit of mixed news first. Tomes of Experience will no longer remove Ascension material requirements when leveling up limit broken heroes. We covered that already. Instead, we'll give you a certain amount of trainers, okay? We are aware some players may be disappointed by this change, but Tomes of Experience will certainly continue to be extremely valuable, especially with the addition Tomes of Experience. I wonder, that's not the Tome of Ascension. I wasn't thinking about that. Tomes of Experience, okay. Because there's the Tome of Ascension, which essentially counts as 8 Ascension items for a 5-star hero. So they're not removing that, but it's Tomes of Experience that just add XP. Please rest assured this change won't retroactively affect any heroes that have been maxed via Tomes. Yeah, because it couldn't, so. And for now, the big news, Ether reset tokens. We know it can be quite frustrating when a huge update that affects a ton of heroes all at once. Yes. such as the upcoming Big Balance update, ends up negatively affecting a hero that you've brought to max level very recently. We believe this new Ether Reset token will be extremely welcome in such cases, except you'll probably have to buy it or earn it in very small numbers, so it doesn't really affect all the heroes that have been ascended. They're making it sound like it's this great thing for quality of life, but it's another monetization opportunity. Just to be clear, these tokens cannot be earned as rewards or purchased. They will only be gifted for free. Okay. I stand corrected. In certain situations, I wonder what those certain situations are. So we'll see. It could be the kind of thing where, I don't know. It's not going to be enough to cover the changes that are made. So, yeah, using an Ether Reset token on a Limit Broken hero will take them back to their original non-Limit Broken max level, so you don't get your Ascension items back. That's never going to happen. Below is an example. So, fully ascended, double Limit Broken, max emblems. So, you get your Ether materials back and your emblems back, which may be more than you actually want to remove, but you have to do it all at once. Ether Reset tokens return 100% of the Ethers, regular and alpha, Ascension materials. Oh, only from the Limit Broken levels, not from the final Ascension, from to get to the 4th Ascension tier. It's only like the single one that's collected for the single 4-star Ascension item that's collected for the 2nd Limit Break final level. Emblems, both regular and golden. That's kind of nice. You get the golden ones back. And experience in the form of trainer heroes. Okay, that's cool. That were used to train post Limit Break. Roughly 50% of the food will be returned. Okay. We hope the implementation of the Ether Reset token will make you feel a lot more at ease when deciding which heroes to Limit Break. Depends how many you give. We are currently considering giving at least one to all players. Like, that's bullshit that they would even pretend that there was the possibility that only some players would get them. So I'm not that impressed. That's it for today. P.S. Our monthly, bi-monthly buffs to older heroes that we've been doing regularly will resume soon. Sorry for the unexpected break. Yeah, wow. You forgot about the old heroes again. We simply haven't had the bandwidth for these recently. Oh, poor these guys. They've been making too much money with their new heroes to pay attention to the older heroes. As always, please make sure to leave your 2 cents here. It's just a feedback thread, and we'll do our best to deliver. So, crazy. Again, part 2 is going to be looking at the heroes directly, so make sure to check out that video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're fed up, do check out Gemstone Legends. I'm playing it because it's a good game. Download links in the description to get a free $50 starter bonus, which is something you wouldn't see in Empires & Puzzles. And as I've mentioned before, over 30,000 players have already left Empires & Puzzles to come play. So come on over. I'm playing daily. Have some fun. Enjoy some more player benefits than we're receiving here. Please hit that like button and subscribe. Support the video. Support your local Mr. Spock. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.